Step into the center of Kampala on any given afternoon, and you will immediately hit a wall of sound and motion. If you grew up around this kind of energetic, back-and-forth communication, sitting completely still and quiet in a dark, formal theater might feel a little stiff, maybe even a bit foreign. That is because traditional African performing arts were never meant to be watched in silence. They are a shared language where everyone present is expected to join in. Think about the shape of the room. A traditional Western stage draws a straight line that separates the performers from the crowd, but traditional African performances usually happen in a performance circle. By removing that physical wall, the performance naturally pulls you in. It invites you to become part of the show, rather than just an observer. The easiest way to see this invitation in action is by listening to the music. You will often hear a singing pattern called call and response. This diagram shows how that social loop works. A lead singer shouts out a short phrase, and the community answers back. If the crowd stops singing, the song literally falls apart. The music requires the group to keep it alive. You will also notice multiple instruments playing at the same time, but they aren't all marching to a single identical beat. As you can see with these musicians, 3 separate drums might play 3 different rhythmic patterns that lock together like a perfectly timed machine. By layering these complex rhythms and constantly asking for a vocal response, the music acts like a magnet. It pulls you out of your own head and syncs you up with everyone else in the space. The way the body moves to this music is equally deliberate. Many of these movements are actually stylized versions of manual labor, like the rhythmic motions of sowing seeds or harvesting crops. While some dance styles reach for the sty with a tall, rigid posture, traditional African dance bends at the knees, directing weight down. This often involves body isolation, moving specific body parts, like the waist, independently of the rest of the torso. In Ugandan dances, like the renyege, notice how low to the ground the dancers stay. They use heavy wooden rattles to stamp directly into the dirt, emphasizing their connection to the path beneath them. Because these movements mirror the work done in the fields, staying low keeps the artist physically linked to the land. It is a way of showing that our art, like our food, is inseparable from the soil that sustains us. Long before modern theaters, community drama happened during nighttime storytelling around an evening fire. These stories might feel spontaneous, but they follow a strict structure designed to make sure the community remembers the important message at the end. This chart shows how a story moves. It starts with the setup, giving background. Then it builds to the turning point, the most tense part. Finally, it reaches the lesson, where the conflict is solved and the moral is revealed. Throughout this arc, the audience doesn't sit quietly. They clap, sing repeating melodies, and even shout out loud answers when the storyteller asks them a question. By inviting the listeners to help push the plot forward, the storyteller removes the barrier between the performer and the crowd. Learning a lesson becomes a shared experience rather than a lecture. This table summarizes the core differences. Traditional African styles rely on an active audience, stories passed down by memory rather than written scripts, and grounded postures that stay close to the earth. Today, you might watch a play under electric lights or listen to a track recorded in a high-tech studio. But those modern tools do not erase the historical framework underneath. If you listen to a modern Ugandan pop song or watch a street play today, you can hear those ancient call and response patterns serving as the structural engine for the whole performance. In contemporary music videos, you can see dancers using those same grounded movements and independent rhythms that their ancestors used centuries ago. Our culture is our identity. As long as Ugandans continue to sing together and move in time with the earth, that traditional African heartbeat will always drive the modern stage.